Linda, tonight is the biggest night in fashion.
It's the
So,
Oscars
follow up
fashion.
to our other Met Gala videos, I want to talk about Andre Leon Talley because it really, in my opinion, isn't a Met Gala without him.
Yep.
And it's such a sad story. It's a great story about someone who really rose the ranks in fashion as a black man,
I know.
uh, and championing other fashion designers, black
Yep.
fashion designers, and was really an icon. But then it was a very tragic end
And
to
which
him.
is sad. I mean, I know about him holistically, but I would say that I didn't know anything about him there. I can't even imagine an editor today having the breadth and depth of knowledge about fashion the way he
Yeah,
does. I
yeah,
mean, and to be able to reference things that he references that I just look at some of these magazines and I'm like, really? Is the best you could come up with? And I I'm just not impressed. I think that even Anna Wintour said it in the documentary that her knowledge of fashion doesn't even come
right.
close to his,
Yeah, I
which kind
know.
of is
Yeah,
somewhat annoying that she would jettison him because I could see him in an era of TikTok and Instagram
right.
and, like people like Rihanna, like they all know him. I think he probably dressed her for one of these Met Galas. Like they all knew him. You know, Tyra Banks, like all of them. And it
Yeah,
just somewhat amazes me that she would just jettison him at the end. It's truly tragic. But I, because when I think about, because I was looking, I was like Googling, was Anna Wintour mean to other editors? And then
I'm
I think
sure.
about
Yeah,
Grace Coddington with
yeah.
her red hair all over the place. And I'm like, I forget how old Grace Coddington is, but I'm like, you didn't jettison her because she was not young anymore and au courant. So I was just like, what in the world? And plus he championed so many designers, young designers, and that's what he brought to the table. So he would have been out there finding these young talents,
Yeah,
black, white, whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Um, and then they always say that Anna was the one championing these people, but I sort of wonder if I look back over the years, was it him? Was it her? Maybe it was a combination of both, but
Oh, no.
I don't still don't think he got his due. And he just was so out there. And really truly beloved. Like when I just look at those, like him dressing Tamron Hall for the White House dinner, and he did the Michelle Obama cover for Vogue, and he even like in that documentary, I thought it was kind of amusing. Um, they were live streaming the inauguration of Donald Trump with Maureen Dowd. I was like, okay, I really need to be live streaming more often. And and rightly so, he complimented that blue dress she was wearing. I mean, it was, he didn't take that into consideration any type of politics. He was like, I'm just looking at the clothes here. So I think it just is amazing to me. And I think you sent me the NPR article or video too. And I think towards the end of his career, sort of, there was a lot of criticism by younger Black authors and writers and stuff. And I was like, again, people, he grew up in a completely different era, right? And so he's one person. Like he starts talking out, like, I don't know. I'm like, he gets fired, and then what? You have nothing to look back on. There's just much more representation now than there was because he was the only representation. I just like, okay, I think he was an amazing person and he created lanes for a lot of different people. And I don't think he got his due in the end. I mean, it truly is sad that you know, that house out in Westchester was beautiful. And
White Plains.
oh
Yeah,
my,
I
I was like,
know.
oh my gosh. Everything about it was just amazing. I'm like, I don't have that kind of taste. Like, oh my
No,
God.
no,
And
that,
I'm like, and his Louis Vuitton luggage. I was like, oh my God. I own one bag, which I'm trying to sell. Like, and he's got the luggage, he's got the trunks, and I was like, oh my God, look at it. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. But I guess you have that lifestyle that you have to fit into it. I think he said once when he would stay with Karl Lagerfeld, you can't wear the same thing all day
right.
long. You
Two
have to
outfits, at
change.
least two outfits, three. He doesn't want to see you in the same outfit all day.
I thought, oh, this is some other world that I will never be a part of. But I was just like, but he, he's just an amazing human being, I think. And after doing this, I'm like, I've never read his book, so I'm gonna go out and get his book today. And
Read it,
because
definitely read it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So it just seems to me, see, like Diane Vaughn, first of all, like he
He
knew
did, yeah, I know.
everybody.
I
And
know.
they just had nothing but one. Oh, the one person, I swear to God, I know I saw that documentary like 100 years ago. He and Sandra Bernhard were friends, and
Yeah,
I
I
just
know.
love her to death. And I was just like, oh, Sandra, oh, that's right. Um, yeah, the people that he was friends with, just the depth and breadth of the people that he was friends with, just kind of amazed me. And he did have an interesting life and just an interesting man. And yeah, as we go into today's Met Gala, um, he will be sorely missed. That is for sure.
Yeah, gosh, I have so, it's always, I have so much to say. I mean, it's sad to me, it's sad how his
It
final
ended.
years
Yeah,
were.
yeah.
Yeah, but,
No,
he was kind of, he wasn't shown the door, but maybe downgraded from
yeah,
Anna Wintour's inner
yeah,
circle or what, however you want to call it. I mean, to me,
mm,
that's a statement. That's something you see all the time
yeah,
in, especially New
yeah,
York and the work world. Like when you're
yeah,
young,
yeah.
the
You're the
doors are
thing.
open and people want you at the table. And even if you have a lot of knowledge, but you're older, you're not as welcome. And I
I know.
think a newer generation coming in, they just saw him as some kind of flamboyant,
Yeah,
crazy character, which was sad. But I
yep,
also think it says a lot about the character that he said Anna Winter was incapable of human kindness or something to that effect. I think that these people are very strategic and black and white and opportunist and want
yep.
people who can definitely,
Keep them
um,
on at the top of
yeah,
their game, and
right.
Anna is no
Um,
different than any other business person. That is for
but
sure.
I think that, but the really sad thing to me is at the end when he was living up in White Plains, which isn't, Manhattan, as nice as the house
Yep,
was, and he said no one in the fashion circles really came to rescue him,
I
which was
know.
kind
That's
of sad
sad.
to me.
It's definitely
Um,
sad.
he, had I heard someone else describe the relationship between him and Anna Winter as parasitic, which is sad. That is also
Mhm.
sad. I think it's
Yep,
very easy when people are in those inner circles that you become delusional and you think you don't realize that you are in an inner circle, but that is being held together by work and a
yeah. Oh
common.
yeah.
But once the work is taken away,
What do you
I
have?
mean,
Like,
how
are
many
you
times
really
have you
friends?
been very close to someone on a job and then after you
The
leave, it's
job's
just never
over.
the
Yeah.
same? But his whole life. I mean, he was molested as a child, which is very sad.
Yeah.
Raised by a
His
grandmother
grandmother.
who, yeah, and being a black man. Like I heard the NPR interview, which was even sadder. It said he never really had a love. He
A
never
love.
felt.
Oh my gosh. That
Yeah,
broke my
me
heart.
too. That broke my
And yeah,
heart too.
because he was
Um,
talking about fashion is my life. And then other people that like there was one guy that he the guy went to RISD and he like, and then he started talking about, other people and like, it just never happened, or maybe he wasn't looking for it. I don't know, but I just felt, that it's sad.
I yeah, but me personally, when I saw pictures of him with Anna Winter at these fashion shows, I mean, he's this big, he's
Yeah.
6'6",
The
300
six,
plus pounds. She's
he's a
this
very
little
big black man, right? He is
petite.
like
I always felt
six
like she
six.
was like, I don't know, like he was almost like this is an exaggeration probably on my part. I almost felt like he was her pet in some way. That's how I like how she toted him around to these fashion shows. That's how
Yeah,
I felt.
I would. I'm not going to disagree with you on that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
just not like he just because it was always the two of them. I don't ever
yeah.
remember her.
I don't
I
remember
mean, other
seeing
than
him.
Grace Coddington, but I only saw Grace Coddington sitting like Grace is either sitting here or actually you can't sit or here, like with the because you couldn't miss her with her big red hair and stuff. But those are the only two editors that I can think of that she would be sitting in the front row. If the fashionistas and the Vogue people, if they are listening to this, can maybe give me, but those are the only two people that I can think of that
And
would be with
she
her.
sent him to do for the weight loss. I think he went there
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
And then you see him when he came back, he was trying to play tennis, like she plays, I
Yeah.
think. Um,
Yeah.
and he seemed more interested in the outfits and the actual
Yeah.
sport. I mean, he's going on the court.
Somehow or another, I believe that.
But like, again, I think the way I think is like, it's this little petite size zero or whatever she is. Is she
Oh,
just
yeah.
that repulsed by someone being fat?
Oh, that, yes.
You
No,
know,
probably because again, when he first went to Paris, he was, tall, thin with his um, beautifully cut suits and stuff, and he just, I guess, progressively just got bigger and bigger. Um, and the thing is, I have no idea what he looks like because he was always covered in those caftans, which literally
I
I think
think
cost thousands of dollars because he had them
right.
custom made
I
for
think if
him.
he was out and about, like you would notice him because he's so big with
Yeah, that's true.
those Afghans. I mean,
Yeah,
that's like insane how he. I mean, look at that. I
caftans.
mean,
I know. Look at those things. I mean, seriously, look, they're beautiful. They're works of art, in all seriousness. And I think the other, like his mentor before Anna was Diana Vreeland, who that woman's always fascinated me
yeah, me too. Yeah,
because I'm like, okay, let's be critical, but she was not a beautiful woman. She was just striking in her appearance, and she just was one of those people women that could just walk in a room and just command the room, even though she wasn't a 10 by any
right.
stretch of the imagination. But she had style and grace and knew her stuff. And I think that that's what I would say about Andre Leon Talley for sure.
He knew his
He
stuff.
knew his stuff.
Right. And people like he dressed Michelle Obama for her covers
Yeah.
of Vogue.
Yeah.
Um, I think he dressed Melania Trump for her wedding. I think I read that.
Yes, yes, that's true. Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, it's very sad how it all ended, you
Yeah,
know.
it is. So be nice
Well,
people.
so tonight
We're
there would be
gonna
no red carpet
I
with
know.
him on it. So this is to you, Andre
Right.
Leon Talley.
Yes. Yep.
Okay, until next time, subscribe and keep watching.
Thanks, everybody. It's sad. I mean, I know about him holistically, but I would say that I didn't know anything about him growing up in the Jim Crow life. I mean, North Carolina. Um, I knew he went to an Ivy League school and he went to Brown, studied French literature, or French history, and loved the French language. So when I was watching the documentary, this is like a fun fact. One of the reasons, because I remember seeing these ridiculous videos, Julia Child. And Julia Child, he learned like little basics of French. I, of course, just wanted to learn how to make an omelet, but okay,
Yeah,
like there are different goals. Um, and that's kind of how he ended up in French because he was fluent and
I
ended
know.
up
So
meeting all
different.
of these, Karl Lagerfeld and Yves Saint Laurent and he really was a trailblazer and an icon. And I just think that, uh, especially since tonight is the Met Gala, that, it's fitting that we sort of pay homage to the man, and his caftans in the end, which, quite frankly, I remember the caftan era. Obviously, he had ballooned to over 300 pounds.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
I think he did try to lose weight. I know that Anna Wintour um, sent him to
Duke, wasn't it?
Duke, right?
Yeah,
Duke. It was Duke to try to lose weight, and for whatever reason, it just didn't take again. And it's hard because when you look at those pictures of him when he first went to Paris, he was just very
yeah,
decked
you
out
look
in his
great.
beautiful suits, and he's 6'6", and of course he would carry those suits just absolutely magnificently. But even the Kefton era, I was like, damn, that is impressive. Some of those he would show up and glide in, and he really truly was, to your point, he was very beloved, and he had some great quotes over the years that you're just like, oh, and he um and the funny thing is, like, I never saw him in those later shows. I didn't even know he had a podcast. Like, you have a podcast? And he was on, was it America's Next Top Model? Was it that show
Yeah,
that he
he
was
was on
on?
America's Next
Yeah.
Up.
Yeah. So, I mean, by the time he got on, I was not watching that show. So I didn't even know that he was on that show. And yeah, he had so much style, so much one of the reasons why I think that he is so amazing, and which kind of upsets me, the whole Anna Wintour